Normally when we think of superfoods, we think of broccoli, we think of collard greens, we think of all our fruits and veggies. We don't typically think of liver. But the crazy thing is that liver is quite honestly probably one of the most powerful superfoods that you could consume. It doesn't just have your vitamins and minerals, but it also contains one particular fat-soluble antioxidant that is extremely important to not only your eyesight, but just about every other hormonal function in your body as well. So the first and foremost, the coolest thing we have to look at with beef liver is the fact that it's a very high quality protein. I mean, normally when you're looking at like a 100-gram serving of beef liver, you're gonna have between 25 and 30 grams of protein and only 3 to 4 grams of fat. So a very lean, high quality source of protein. But you're also getting all 9 essential amino acids that you would ultimately need to build muscle. You see, people typically think that if they're gonna consume an organ meat, that they're not gonna get the full muscle building potential or the amino acid profile that they would normally get from consuming skeletal muscle meat. The reality is you actually get all that and then some. You see, in that same 100-gram serving of liver, you're also going to have 1,176% of your daily recommended intake of vitamin B12. So vitamin B12 is critical when it comes down to creating red blood cells and actually delivering energy. Okay, then you're also going to have 634% of your daily value of vitamin A in its preformed form. And I'll explain that in a second because that's extremely important. You're also going to have 714% of your daily intake of copper. This is not something you would normally get. It's hard to get copper. I know people that go and spend a lot of money on copper supplements simply because they're not getting copper from their diet. Now, copper plays a big role in balancing iron out and balancing other minerals in your body, making it so that your body can actually produce testosterone. There's a huge link between copper and zinc and the actual formation of testosterone in the body. But let's stop for a second and let's focus on that vitamin A for a second. So you remember how I mentioned that it's preformed vitamin A? You see, there are 2 different kinds of vitamin A that we can be ingesting. We can ingest preformed vitamin A, which is going to come from fish and some meat sources and mainly organ meats like liver. Okay, but then we also have plant-based vitamin A, and these are the ones that are marketed a lot. We're talking about like the beta carotene, and these are usually pro-vitamin A carotenoids. What that means is they turn into vitamin A eventually, but the body has to go through an entire metabolism process before those ever really become a bioavailable, usable vitamin A. You see, in the case of beef liver, you're actually talking about a preformed vitamin A. It's already been synthesized. It's already been created as vitamin A. So when you consume it, it goes straight to the source, which means that it creates retinol, retinil, and retinol esters. So that means that your body can actually have better eyesight. You think about your retinas in your eye, and then you think about the word retinol coming from vitamin A, you can do the math. It kind of makes sense, right? I used to feed my old dog carrots because I thought that the beta carotene in carrots would actually help the eyesight. I know a lot of people that do that. They give their dogs carrots because the vitamin A is supposed to be good for their eyes. When in reality, if they just gave them all cuts of meat, it would work out a lot better. But I'm going off on a tangent. The point is that you want preformed vitamin A. You don't want the vitamin A from the plant sources because by the time it actually gets down to the root of what it's doing in your body, it's not doing much good. Now, vitamin A also plays a critical role in a lot of hormonal functions. It's a powerful fat-based antioxidant, which means it neutralizes free radicals throughout the hormonal system, but also throughout our body in its entirety. Very important if you're training hard or if you're just trying to live a long life. Now, one of the other things I wanted to point out that's very important when it comes down to liver, and beef liver to be specific, is the amount of selenium that's in it. You see, normally we're trying to get selenium from things like Brazil nuts or other high-calorie foods that would normally have selenium, or we're getting it from some kind of supplement where it's been somewhat synthesized and it may not be really having a positive effect in our body. Selenium is very important for thyroid function. Okay, we need selenium for the thyroid to function at its best, which means that it's going to allow our metabolism to speed up a little bit. Healthy thyroid, healthy metabolism. That's what we're after. You get such a good amount of selenium in a true bioavailable form from beef liver that you'd be hard-pressed to find anything else that's going to give you the same kind of quality. Now, when it comes down to getting a true value with your beef liver, you can't always just go to the butcher shop and order a fresh liver. It's not always practical to eat that every night. The reality is our ancestors were probably eating these kind of organ meats all the time. This day and age, it's just hard to do, and it's not always palatable. That's exactly why Antler Farms has created their beef liver capsules. They've actually dehydrated beef liver and put it into a form where you get a concentrated amount in just a couple of capsules. So that's exactly why Antler Farms created this product. They saw a need, and they inserted a perfect product into the market so that people that weren't always able to get their hands on good quality organic beef liver could actually get it in a capsule form. So make sure you check them out and make sure you're getting your organ meat in one way or another. I'll see you soon.